And good evening to everyone from the Beehive State of Utah. Coming to you live from Salt Lake City, the train that has no brakes is scheduled to roll on with another live stream of Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. Now, when last we left, if you may recall, we were just on the outskirts of Goldpaw. We had just finished fighting a few notorious monsters, and now we're making our way to the town with a bunch of, what dare I say, endless dog puns, and enough to make any dog owner kind of smile a little bit. So without further ado, let's begin. I hope you are having a great night here. Temperatures here in Salt Lake City are in the high 90s, about, some might say a little bit 100, but, you know, it doesn't feel like that to me. I mean, this is hot to some of you. I mean, I honestly can't believe that. You may have noticed some of the technical difficulties we've been having. I decided to switch over from GeForce Experience, from that streaming client, and switch over to OBS. So yes, I finally decided to join the 21st century. And thus far, I must say, it's a little... the transition has not been without some challenges, but nevertheless, I think we could work through them. I already find it to be... the streaming seems to be going well. Just had to check if the stream itself was actually working, but now we don't seem to be having any problems, so let us continue. So, just got out of work at around 2:30. Still doing a little bit of training for my job, and I must say, you know, it has its fair share of challenges. But I'm sure, you know, we'll get through it. Thereafter, I decided to start do the trial class over at a CrossFit place. What is it? Brick Wall CrossFit down over near over in South Street, which is really, really nice. I mean, I thought the people there were really nice and welcoming. Right now, though, and you know, it's definitely going to be high up on my list when I do make that decision about the place where I plan to, you know, spend some of my afternoons. I mean, you know, lifting in my lifting, running, doing push-ups, sit-ups in my apartment gym. You know, that you know, it can only occupy you for so long. How much money do we have anyway? Got more than enough, I guess. I can't believe some people think it's hot out here in Salt Lake City. I mean, I can't believe that. I mean, then again, you know, it's kind of all relative. I've been through a lot worse than this. I mean, I could probably run in this weather. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, but probably someplace like Las Vegas, you know, at this time of the year, nah, I'd probably just go. I mean, I lived in Vegas for like about, I don't know, I don't know, about a good 20 years. That was... And now let me tell you, oh my goodness, I mean, the summers there were brutal. And I worked in Tucson earlier this year, you know, did a little bit of IT work over there, you know, switching out some equipment at the Air Force Base. And already, and this is, keep in mind, this is already, you know, even in March, you know, in April, everywhere else that's spring, it already felt like, it already felt like summer. Holy mackerel. I can only imagine how it is in Tucson right now. I mean, probably fry an egg on the sidewalk. So anyway, I decided to switch over from the GeForce Experience streaming client all the way to this thing, to OBS. Particularly because of audio and video sync issues I was having with GeForce Experience. I don't know what was going on with it, and I couldn't even possibly tell you. I mean, it was like, you know, you were seeing one thing and hearing another. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's almost like everything we've been hearing from Capitol Hill the last 25 years. Truly, truly awful. But anyway, we'll see. You know, I gotta do an after-action review of this thing, of this, once the stream ends, in probably about a good hour and a half, and then we'll tweak and adjust as necessary from there. But I like what I see in here thus far. No pun intended. Without further ado, let's continue. I do like how you don't have to go through a billion things just to get, you know, this to run. You know what I mean? This OBS to run. I mean, that's really, really promising.
Yo.
Tonight's live stream is powered, by the way, by coffee and Umaru-chan. Kind of like how it happens over here.
Nani?
I mean, gosh, the audio and video sync issues with the GeForce Experience streaming were so bad. It looked like a Godzilla movie from the 70s. It's like, how far from Yamanose is it to Yamanose now? Yeah, I miss those Godzilla movies from the 70s. I mean, you know, they were fun. I mean, you know, you could turn your brain off. You know, you could watch like two guys in suits duke it out. I mean, Godzilla versus Gigan. Oh my goodness, wow. I mean that was a masterpiece. I mean, you know, before, I mean, when I was a kid, the top 10 movies went as follows: Highlander.
Yosh.
Bloodsport, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Mortal Kombat, Missing in Action. Did I put Godzilla vs. Gigan yet? Because it would occupy like the next 5. I mean, you know, seeing like Godzilla and Anguirus talk to each other, you know, before kicking space alien ass. Now that was. I mean, no, that was worth the price of stealing that video cassette from my uncle's house alone.
Nanda. ダメだ.
You're probably noticing that right now that I'm peering down at my cell phone, trying to see how the stream is going, and thus far it appears to be going pretty well.
Yosh.
You know, I think, you know, maybe it's just me, but shouldn't everything like that these dogs say? I mean, shouldn't it be like you know heralded with a gong strike? I mean, you know, that would complete the aesthetic for me. You know, gong.
Yosh.
Remind me, I think you get. I think the only other party member you get in this game is it Leander? You know the blonde guy with glasses. You know the twink guy. And until then, their party is pretty much a sausage fest until you get Bracken.
Yosh.
Guang!
Oi.
Yosha.
Yosh.
Oh, you cheating whore. It's wrong! It's wrong!
Yeah.
This motherfucker's deceitful. More deceitful than that time I joined the army. Only it costs me my sanity, and in this case, this dice game is costing us money. I feel sorry for this poor cat boy. I really do.
Evan!
よしね
よし。ああおや。あ。
えでも
金を返すまでこいつがお前につきまとう。逃げられはせんぞ。
金返せ金返せ金返せ
I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say that this rooster or crow or whatever is arguably the best character in the game. Quite possibly the game's moral center. Whatever the hell that means. I don't know. I heard it in a movie. I read it in a movie review once, and I'm like, you know what? You know what? I think today's the day I use it when actually saying something.
Na. なあ。おう。
金返せ
What the hell was that? Oh, well, leaf post. Okay. I know there's an achievement. I think it's probably in the DLC that's associated with getting some of the leaf posts. I don't know. It's been such a while. I mean, I platinumed this game on another account. That was like over like 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, come on, can you? I mean, you can't expect a guy to remember all these things.
Oh. よし。ああ。
That's like a severe OPSEC leak right there. I mean, you know, with the whole. I mean, who's to say that the one mouse singer won't send like assassins after Evan now? I'm telling you, Facebook gets more people killed than the plague. I mean, whatever happened to loose lips sink ships?
よし。
うん。
うん。
ああ。
金返せ。あのさ。ないな。
あ
うん。ねえ。
いらっしゃい。おや。
ね
何？
え。よく見ててね。1を押すと1が、5を押すと5が、2を押すと2が出るわけ。すごいな。
ほう。
よし。
いや。
ほんでないな。
Yes, we go up to him and tell him that we plan to pay the debt.
よっしゃ。
Memory serves, we have to go to the forest of Nial again, where the dice are being produced, if I'm not mistaken. Guang! I don't know, I'm just gonna, I need to hire, now that I have all this disposable income, I have to get somebody to follow me around, with like a gong to herald whenever I enter a room, It'd be like, I barge in and then guang!
なんだ。
金返せ。ね
さあ、どっちを選ぶ？
赤だ。来た。作戦実行や。
行くぞ。
今や。
何？そんなバカな。
Guang.
はい
ね
やれやれ。
He was just doing his job. I don't get it. The whole place rotten from top to bottom. It's like that. It's like the camp guard defense, but in reverse.
はい
Okay, bad analogy.
Oi. 何？ち。ああ。やれやれ。よし。
Guang.
Yeah. Ah.
My goodness, I mean, you know, who would have thunk it? You know, a revelation, a very revelation that would have shook an entire nation to its core about the very principles upon which it was founded. It's like realizing that you're still governing your country over a document that was written all the way back in the 18th century. I mean, my goodness, who would have thought? I mean, good heavens! If heavens to Betsy, if anyone knew. This guy's probably the strict constitutionalist, you know, arguing over all that stuff and fluff and whatnot. But you know, it makes you wonder. You know, I was reading an article the other day on the Drudge Report, particularly about how Kuni Barrett and Gorsuch and Roberts, whom, if you may recall, were said to be these dyed-in-the-wool conservatives, were thought to be dyed-in-the-wool conservatives, you know, whom, you know, the left, whom, you know, pretty much the leftist media, well, the mainstream media, essentially painted as these people who'd set the country back, turned out to be precisely what they said they were, and that's an independent-minded judiciary. I mean, when President Trump named Gorsuch and Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court, he was doing when he heralded, he was nominated them with the ostensibly to have an independent-minded judiciary, right? Then suddenly he freaked out when he got exactly what he wanted. It's like I've been paying attention, to understand this whole riffraff over an independent-minded judiciary, you have to go all the way back to, the Chavo case, which has become like about the one terminally ill woman who, well, not terminally ill, but rather in a persistent vegetative state. And that became like a lightning rod for all these right-to-life folks and who else. And they said, this is the work of, leftist judiciary, when many of the justices were actually appointed by Republican presidents. When you want an independent, when you name all these, people, these justices, these federal judges to the bench,
Oh.
and you say with the idea, and you suddenly, with the idea of getting an independent judiciary, and suddenly you get exactly what you want. Wow, you did your job. But when they rule against you, for better or for worse. But since they don't side with you on your weirdo conspiracy election theories, suddenly they're these
Yes.
fairly conservative-leaning justices, from a personal standpoint, are suddenly part of this deep state conspiracy. Get a grip. Jeez. This is why people, are convinced that nothing will ever change. And nothing ever will. All we're doing is playing musical chairs. In effect. I bet you within the next 5 to 10 years, we're probably going to see another conflict somewhere. That advances none of our interests, none of our strategic interests. In which we wind up spending trillions of dollars and losing thousands of more soldiers, not to mention the needless, loss of life on the other side. I'm seeing the same. I remember the run up to 2004. I remember the run up to Iraq and Afghanistan, and regrettably, I was a young man at the time. Well, more like a boy at the time, and I supported it. I supported it. I, like many people, supported it. But now, I see. I'm not ashamed to admit it, even though ultimately, as we all know, we turned out to be wrong. Now you're seeing the same things, happen all over again. The necessity of going to war, against Iran. The necessity of, of taking a tougher stand against Russia, even though the President Biden's administration has been more conciliatory towards, Premier Putin's than President Trump ever was. Actually, if you think about it, President Trump was kind of a lot more stricter, given that his administration cracked down on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. But nevertheless, there is antagonism, visible antagonism between President Putin and Premier Biden, or President Putin, or whatever he chooses to call himself. Not that it matters; it's all semantics. But whether it's with Russia, the saber rattling with Russia, or with the very, very realistic possibility of a conflict with Iran, regrettably. You get the sense that nothing ever will, change. And I don't know how we segued from those unscrupulous dealings in Goldpaw, but actually, if you think about it, it's segued pretty well. Corruption and how things are slow to change, in part because of it. And when I say that, a lot of these problems, when I talk about a lot of these problems, I mean, a lot of the problems are systemic, that come with living in a republic with democratic principles. I mean, Plato. Democracies are wonderful things, but guess what? They're also, governed not necessarily by reason or any sort of logic or any sort of long-term. They're governed by emotion, and that makes it difficult to have a long-term plan. They're governed by the whims and the emotion of the people, whom as we've seen are quite fickle. Can change their minds on a dime. I mean, we went from Bush, from President Bush to President Obama, to President Trump, to President Biden. Here are four men who couldn't be any more different when it comes to governing a country. But over there, like in Singapore and China, they've had the benefit of long-term planning. And look where they are now. They've had the benefit of a vision for their country. I mean, Adlai Stevenson once, when somebody once said to presidential candidate Adlai Stevenson, one of this country's, shitty candidate, but one of this country's best diplomats, that, hey, once everybody hears this speech, every thinking man will vote for you. And Stevenson said? He said, yes, that's amazing, but I need at least half the vote. He knew the problems that were inherent with being in a democracy, as did Plato, as did many others. I'm not saying we need to have a dictatorship or anything of that sort. I think it falls upon people to be more informed, to really think about what they're looking for, to be informed on the issues. I mean, it can't help when you're mentioning, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as a presidential candidate. When you're floating him as a presidential candidate, Mr. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, freaking Dwayne 2.0 GPA Johnson as a presidential candidate. You imagine sending this guy up against, Jinping, against Merkel, against Putin, three of the smartest, most conniving, most cunning rulers their respective countries have ever seen. These people are taking are having their way with us on the world stage. And you want to elect they already He already showed us the folly of voting for a steak salesman who had no freaking clue how to run a country. And now you're thinking of sending some Hollywood quote-unquote actor, okay, movie star against them. I mean, if you even entertain that possibility, I mean, what's he gonna do? I mean, what's he gonna do? Tell him, impress them with how much weight he can curl with one arm? For crying out loud! I mean, what's he gonna do? Tell him how much he can deadlift when suddenly China will wind up controlling much of the developing world with its Belt Road Initiative? Is he gonna tell everybody how much Fast and Furious 11 billion made when Europe is growing closer to a geopolitical rival in Russia, which in and of itself isn't a bad thing, but nevertheless they are a geopolitical competitor. We're talking within the context of being a strategic power, right? Is he gonna... What's he gonna do? Is he gonna tell everybody to go to the gym when education levels... when healthcare in this country... when the amount of people in this country who have access to affordable healthcare... when education levels are at an all-time low... and drought levels are at an all-time high... and states all over the Southwest are struggling to deal with that, particularly to reconcile that with their growing populations. What the hell's he gonna do? Break out the, oh yeah, you have no excuse not to make it to the gym. Come on, give me a fucking break. Dwayne Johnson as a fucking president? This meat-headed jock who has no idea what the average person goes through and issues all these proclamations from his 40-room mansion, Dwayne Johnson. The kind of guy who's out of touch paradigm led people to vote for President Trump in the first place. Give me a break.
Oh. Yoshi.
Are these guys blind or what? I mean, you remember those, in Oblivion in the last, in the Thieves Guild quest line where you had to go to those blind mock priests, you had to evade them while you were climbing up the tower over there in the Imperial City, That was the only quest in that game, that really, really felt epic, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm not disparaging Dwayne Johnson, as a movie star, I mean, he makes money to make shitty movies that people watch, and that's wonderful for him. He's a tremendous businessman. And I don't think you could really call him an actor because to be honest, he couldn't act his way out of a wet paper bag. But he's a tremendous movie star. But to think that you could send a guy like that against Vladimir Putin, against Jinping, against Premier Jinping, against Kadyrov, You know, they say, you know, we already tried that with a steak salesman, and some good that did, right? I mean, Russia has pretty much got Ukraine by the balls. Although you know, there might be something to be said about the Crimea actually, you know, Crimeans legitimately wanting to be part of Russia. I mean, maybe they do. I mean, maybe that's what they want to do. I mean, you can't blame them. You know, China is pretty much bankrolling development all over Africa and Central Asia and other parts of South and East Asia. Japan is also following suit. And you want to vote for a guy who academically couldn't tell his own ass from a hole in the ground, who knows absolutely nothing about policy making or lawmaking. You might as well just wave the goddamn white flag right there. I mean, you say, you know, we already tried that with a reality show producer and steak salesman, and look where that got us. I mean, you say insanity is the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and expect different results.
Ah.
Now, we've been running over and over, back and forth between these two rooms.
Yoshi.
Really, I would have preferred just to watch them get massacred, but you know, funny of you to come up with an idea to come off sounding all sensible.
Oh. Ah.
Already the young prince commits an act of imperialism. I say he's learning. It will, this thought process will serve him quite well.
Yoshi.
Go.
mushrooms. Skunk shrooms? The gunk shrooms. This reminds me of that one, wasn't there a non-playable character in Neo who kept requesting dung balls or whatever? I forget what his name was, but you got an achievement for giving him like 30. That would go well on Tani. See, I guess this goes to show you just how much I use Batu, which isn't a lot. Okay, we'll hand him that, and... You know, I'm not, you know, when I say the stuff about Dwayne Johnson, you know, I mean, I'm like not trying to disparage the guy's achievements. I'm clearly... Okay, maybe I am because he comes off as an enormous fake. Okay, everything I read and see on his Instagram comes off as some of the most pious, self-righteous, pseudo-motivational malarkey I've ever seen. But the one thing that strikes out to me the most is how he goes out there and says, you have no excuse not to make it to the gym. Now consider that if you've been... Consider that statement, you know... I mean, you know, when I was younger, I might have agreed, you know. But the older I get, you know, the more that I actually have to work, you know, rather than, you know, take a glorified vacation over to some exotic locale to film, to be in front of a camera all day. You know, the less that opinion really becomes less, and the less that opinion becomes viable. You know what I mean? Even less so when you realize that people out there have to work. They have to take care of their families. And they can't, you know, they can, you know, like normal people, you know, who don't have who can't, you know, who don't live in a 40-room mansion and can't afford a butler. You know, or several. Who's this guy kidding? I mean, he's, you know, it's just kind of a, you know, please don't tell me that he did that whole Imagine thing with Gal Gadot. You know, at the height of the coronavirus, when everybody was cooped up in their homes. You know, from the confines of his, from the undoubtedly very, very Spartan-like confines of his 40-room mansion. My God, that would break my heart. Imagine all those celebrities. Oh my goodness. My heart bleeds for them. Now, forgive me, but didn't we have to do another... Wasn't there another fight we had to... over here? I mean, you know, it's been such a while. Been a long time. But you can bet your sweet ass that I'll definitely make some time for the gym tomorrow, even after my work day, my 8-hour work day over at the operations center. And no, my butler will be on standby. Doing this to make sure that we got everything. And I hate to miss a single treasure chest. I know that we had to fight another enemy in the forest, though. I'm just not sure where. Or maybe I just mistook it for another game, I guess? I don't know. Alright, time to go. Oh, that reminds me. Now we can go to that spot over in Cloud Coil Canyon where we have to plant a casting spell on those mushrooms. Wait a minute, there seems to be a... Let's say we head on over there. Oh boy, Flipsy, we ain't done exploring. I don't know, dude. And then maybe we might do one of those magic doors later today. If I mean, we've got the night is. I suppose so. The night is young. And I'm not doing much of anything this evening. Alright. Dice dumplings. I don't know, that doesn't sound keto safe to me. But I don't know, I actually did keto for a little bit when I was over in, you know, what I didn't like was that it was inherent, you know, it's a very, very restrictive diet. I mean, you know, even, I mean, it boggled the mind that even a single banana could theoretically kick you out of ketosis. Not theoretically, it could really kick you out of ketosis. So you had to, you know, really, really monitor your carb intake, and it wasn't always the most optimal. Optimal for, you know, well-being, for health and whatnot. Oh, this was the spot with these two spiky objects and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, that... We may have to speak with Niall about that. I know, yeah, I must say, this stream is working quite well. I mean, if I had known about OBSS earlier, I would no doubt have switched over to that because you know, from what I'm seeing here on from what I'm seeing here on my phone, it's just going so well, so seamlessly. I keep forgetting that we can just. Do you think we have it enough to fight to take revenge on Guga? Nah, maybe later. If you tuned into our live stream yesterday, I mean, Guga did a number on us.
Domo.
はい
Yari yari. Hi.
なあ
Oh.
Wouldn't that be a declaration of war, though? Shouldn't this be tried like by an international tribunal if another or whatever, or settled via
よし
some sort of intermediary if this is happening between two countries? I don't know. Sometimes it'd just be a lot easier if the two countries just went to war over this.
さあ。
ね
さあ。
おい なあ
Yes, if the glove does not fit, you must acquit.
Yari yari.
ほう
ええ。
だからその証拠は偽物です。さすがサイコロ様は分かっていらっしゃる。
今だ。
よっしゃ任しとけ。
何？
サイコロがおかしいぞ。
もう一つあなたに訴えがある。サイコロ様でもイカ様をしている件だ。
このリモコンでね。
ああ。
はい。
おい。なんだあれは。
守護神ウルデラコン。
あれがか。
ウルデラコンが町に現れるなどどうしたというのだ。
六目木先生術長、貴様は王としてふさわしくないとみなされた。全ては計画通り新玉泉をいただくぞ。
Oh yeah, right. If memory serves, we have to face them. But how on God's green earth teleported us to this, I'll never know. Aye. Well, that didn't take long.
なあ、
少し。あ
はい。
うんはい。
ありがとう。
感謝します。
And I think after this, you after you speak with Nyal, or wow, however does you pronounce his name, you start the foundations for the kingdom of Evermore are set, and you see you can start and you can go about building the kingdom. Or at least that's if memory serves. And I keep forgetting that we can teleport back to wherever we need to go. And it's... yeah, there we are.
いや
はい。
さ、
はあ。
な。
うん。
ああ。
なあ。
むむ。
うわ、
うん。
うん。ああ。
おう。うんうん。
ああ、あれは。
おお、面白そうな匂いを嗅ぎつけてきやがったぜ。奴ら待ちきれなかったと見える。
Yeah, that would have made for a majestic screenshot.
ほう。
おい。
Yeah, I know there's some good Ni no Kuni 2 guide out there somewhere. I don't think it was IGN's one though. I know. Oh, I think it was Prima Games. No, was it Prima Games or was it Game Skinny? Ni no Kuni. Here we are. Ah, here we are. Gamer guides.
よし。
ああ。
No, wait, no, that's kind of a really good one.
Ah.
Oh, what kind of talk is that?
せや。
僕の国の名前は サバニア。これが僕たちの新しい国の名前だ。
I don't know, I would have preferred New Sodom.
ね
Simpsons joke. Sneed.
おう。お前ら国王のエヴァン様が皆にお言葉をおかけになる。しかと耳にせよ。
みんな、この新しい国にはどんな困難が待っているかはわからない。でも僕は作りたいんだ。みんなが笑い合える豊かで美しくて、そして平和な国を。
エヴァン、
みんなこの僕と一緒に歩いてほしい。きっと険しい道だけど、この道は希望に続いているんだ。
I don't know, I think I would have loved a more warlike speech, you know.
よ、王様。
Yeah, I could have imagined him, you know, riding down a golden escalator, you know.
なかなか決まってるじゃん。
エヴァ、元大統領
How we're gonna build a wall separating us from Ding Dong Dell.
ここから
I mean,
始
come
ま
on,
る
they're not, you know, we all know that they're not sending their best. They're sending usurpers and murderers.
エヴァン、どこまでも付き合ってやるぜ。お前が。
みんな、
ニルの計らいで多くの協力者がエヴァンの元を訪れ、彼ら
But in all seriousness, though, I do kind of like how this game, you know, there's always a, you know, sense of hope, you know, uplifting, inspiration, and whatnot in this game. You know, it's all positive instead of, you know, doom and gloom of like Neo and, you know, murders. I mean, yeah, that's not to say they don't happen here, but it's like there's a very this game's message is one of hope,
せっかく国づくりが始まったのに。
one of inspiration. I think we need that now more than ever, clearly.
それは嬉しいんだけど、まだわからないことだらけで不安がいっぱいだよ。二の国を滅ぼすほどに大きな力を持った邪神の復活、本当に僕に止められるのかな。
そうだね。君だけでは無理だ。でも、君はもう一人じゃない。
うん。僕は一人じゃない。仲間ができたんだ。
そうだよ、エヴァン。
So Evan is like supposed to be like half lion and half
できることから
human.
やってみるよ。
I'm you know sitting. I mean, his father was like a lion, right? I'm sitting here trying to understand the logistics, how that would have worked. But you know, it's you know,
頼もし
I'm
くなってき
just
たね。それじゃあまたね。
you know, I'm not even gonna bother. You know, it's like. As you can see, we've leveled up pretty well, and now we need to start building our fledgling kingdom. With which we will undoubtedly conquer this continent through bloodshed and conquest. Violent, bloody conquest.
な。
See, you know, the way Evermore gets built throughout the entire game, you get the sense, you know, this is, I mean, it's the kind of transition that takes generations, centuries even,
よし
you know, if nothing else, at least decades. And yet none of the characters seem to age even a single day in this game. I don't know, you know, video game logic. Like, you know, how does where does Connor McLeod keep his sword? You know, when he's out walking around, you know, it's the hammer space. I mean, I remember, you know, Duncan McLeod, you know, he could be like walking around in his shirt and jeans, and suddenly like he gets challenged. Another immortal jumps out of nowhere and challenges him, and then like and Duncan McLeod suddenly he's just has a sword. I'm like, how did that happen? Great movie and great series, nevertheless. If that's usually how it works. Yes, long may it rain. I like that. I like the overtones of that. Nourished by the blood of those whom we conquer. Yeah, I guess. Sleepy Ranch. I like the music in this game. I mean, it's really comfy. Very, very comfy. You get a lot of good vibes playing this game, and for good reason. To the right and put Chinggis here. I don't see a Sleepy Ranch anywhere. Such an item does not exist. Perhaps you must have dreamt it. What ministries? Alright, fine. I guess we have to build them all then. Yeah, that should be pretty quick. I kind of get some Dark Cloud vibes doing this. I mean, that was before most of y'all's time, but that was Dark Cloud. But that was a really good game, and particularly the first level. I mean, I never made it past the first level, but you know, building that village. But that was some comfy. That was a comfy tune.
Oh.
Now I get nostalgic for my childhood now. 20 years and undoubtedly 100,000 hair follicles, and a head full of hope. And hair, of course. That always hurts me.
よし
Martha, if I'm not mistaken, will be the first citizen you recruit. Well, actually, you know, you can make... Before we leave, we might as well build... I think we could still build some more buildings while we're... Sheep Ranch, I think. And assign Batu over here. Sheep Ranch. Sleepy Ranch. Okay, Sleepy Ranch. Putting Chinggis there. Putting Tani to the Explorers Guild. Oh, Kunbish here. Mining camp. I think we've done all we could for now. Pretty soon it will be a mighty kingdom with which we shall spill under the banners of which we shall spill blood throughout the continent. Now, I wonder if we can access those demon doors yet. I know that, well, actually, there was that, it's stuff like that, you know, the music, the aesthetic, you know, the sense of hope, and, you know, that this game wasn't, you know, new one to be, you know, wasn't overly goofy, that it was light, fairly lighthearted, and fairly uplifting, that made this game, you know, probably one of the best. I definitely put it in my top 5 anyway of games I've ever played.
ありがとう。ん？ちょっと。
まったく。
よし。
うん。
Grotty Grotto. Alright, let's go find this. Let's go find this thieving bastard. Alright, it's right there. I believe we went here earlier, didn't we? It might not be a bad idea to play some of these battles, but you know, right now I just want to get a few achievements. I just want to gun for the achievements and then bail for tonight. No, you know, gotta head back to the coal mines tomorrow. I believe there's gotta be a demon door place, right? Yeah, it is. So might as well see what's up and then try. This is the collection agency, Bison. Your ass is 6 months overdue, and it's mine. I don't know. I don't think anybody could do a really good Jean-Claude Van Damme impersonation. It's just one of those accents that you know, it's just out there, but you really can't imitate it very well.
No.
Ara. Ne.
Ah, now we can go through those dreamer doors.
Eh. Naya. Eh. Ne. Naya. Eh.
Yeah, this quest with whatchamacallit, Millennia, you won't be able to complete right off the bat. I mean, this requires you to travel to Dreamers mazes all over the world, and you probably won't be able to complete this quest fully at least until it won't probably be until endgame that you're able to complete this, or just before. And by the time you get Millennia and some of the other, well, actually, some of those other characters can be endgame, followers you can recruit to your kingdom can be pretty useful, but they don't really come until much later, and by then, well, you know, it's like getting the ultimate weapon close to the end of the game. You know what I mean? I mean, you already made it that far without it. It's like, goodness gracious, I could have used this. Where was this before? So Auntie Martha will be our first, the first person, and we recruit to our fledgling kingdom. I think she should have been vetted more strenuously given her past as a freedom fighter, and that would probably, how she would list that on her SF-86 is anyone's guess. That's your first citizen right there. Actually, why it took me back to the throne room.
よし。
それじゃあね。
I don't know, Auntie Martha seems pretty chill. I mean, you know, like...
No.
Even though like she was pretty much like this this game's equivalent of Che Guevara or Francis Marion. You know, before some of you dudes, you know, start, you know, or even Mao. Well, we're talking about like Mao fighting the Japanese Mao. And Chiang Kai-shek, Mao. And before all of you start, you know, get on my ass about putting them all in the same sentence. Come on. So I figure we'll probably complete this streamer maze and have that be the final, and have that be our last feat of the night. Oh, I see we've already gotten to the achievement. I didn't bother to read that again. Now I'll never know what the hell this danger level means or what it does or whatever. Basically, it rises with every step you take, but it's like I never noticed any consequences, but it decreases with every statue you talk to, I guess. No, fuck that. I'd rather keep my orbs. Yeah, but since you're offering, yeah, we'll go get these treasure chests. I like how now I see the entire screen instead of having that over picture in place of myself. I mean, my goodness, that was just trying to navigate Yakuza like a dragon. I don't know, it got kind of dicey at times. Although I could see most of the screen. I mean, I might just do a new game playthrough so we could experience the highs and lows of Isujaki Ijincho all over again. I mean, that game, I mean, you know, that's a game that I'll forever, that, you know, that to me, you know, that was an amazing experience, you know. I mean, games just keep getting better and better. And, you know, I know there's some folks who say, oh, you know, gaming was better in the 16-bit era, it was all this, and, you know, I used to think that too, and then I realized that, you know, that little pixels aren't really that convincing, and that now video game makers do a much better job at telling a story, and having, you know, visuals like this make that story more convincing. And the gameplay's not bad either. I mean, this action role-playing game, these action role-play elements are some of the best particularly, and the intuitive controls are probably the best I've dealt with in a role-playing game. And this coming from somebody who grew up in that 16-bit era, who happily counts, you know, Jungle Strike and Lethal Enforcer's Gunfighters among the greatest games of all time, okay? Don't judge me. And of course there's Battle Arena Toshinden. I mean, as a fighting game it sucked, but, you know, Sophia's... You know, Sophia, I mean, she accounted for like 90%, I mean, she accounted for like 90% of like the 70% I'm giving it. No, she accounted for like 60 of those. The rest was just incidental. That was pretty quick for a Dreamer Door. See, I don't bother to block or dodge. I'm like the Rocky Balboa of players, you know what I mean? You know, blocking with his head rather than his hands, or simply moving the hell out of the way. Then I read somewhere that when he was auditioning, that Dolph Lundgren actually injured Stallone with a single punch. You know, Lundgren being like a full contact, you know, karateka and kickboxer, actually injured Stallone with a single punch to the chest when they were rehearsing the fight, when Sly told him to go at it for real. I mean, I mean, some of these stories, you know, I have to take it with a grain of salt, but until I read that and saw a picture of Stallone posing with Joe Frazier, whom he auditioned, and, you know, and Marvin Hagler, both of whom he auditioned for the role of Clubber Lang. And apparently, you know, they sparred for a little bit, and, you know, their idea of sparring is different from Stallone's idea of sparring, because apparently they knocked him down several times and broke several of his ribs. I mean, my goodness, Sly must have had like, are you crazy or something to be facing those guys, or what? So suffice it to say, neither of those guys were cast in the movie. But I guess Sly, you know, remained on amicable terms with both on good terms with both Hagler and Frazier. And Sly even, I guess, must have auditioned Roberto Duran for a role too, because apparently they did a little bit of sparring as well and training together as well. I mean, Sly got his ass kicked by all the greats. Can you think of a more worthier distinction than that? And he's like the... I mean, my goodness, he was Donald Cerrone before Donald Cerrone happened. I mean, what have you got to lose? I mean, even if you do lose, you still get it. I mean, nothing but love for Donald Cerrone. I mean, that dude had some great fights throughout his career. But, you know, it's clear, you know, now he's a shot fighter. But in his prime, holy mackerel, that dude could beat the living shit out of anyone. Or at least, you know, that's what I like about Cerrone. Guys like Cerrone and Diaz. It's like, you know, they kind of, you know, espouse that same philosophy of the Fresno, you know, Pat Hill's Fresno State football teams, you know. They're like anytime, anybody, anytime, anywhere. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is what Sophia said during her victory quote in Battle of Toshinden, which is so it's amazing how all those things tie together. If I have a thing for blondes, I guess. I want to save that aerial raid for you never know when this battle will probably get a little dicier. And it was the bloodiest battle in the fledgling kingdom's history. Oh god. I'll tell you when we haven't even begun to fight yet. And together, they shouted in triumph amid the corpse-strewn battlefield. All right, so that pretty much does it for tonight. I think that was pretty much a good night of gaming. Got a few achievements. Leveled up quite a bit. I'd say that was a great success. I don't know. Maybe we might head back to Cloud Coal Canyon and check out some of the... Yeah, let's check out. You know, I know there's like a path here where you can grow, where you can cast a spell on those mushrooms leading up to the what is it? That one part, and then, you know, access a path that you couldn't previously traverse. So yeah, we'll check it out. thinking out loud here, even if it's not necessarily thinking well. You know, we got some gaming done, got some achievements out of the way, advanced story. Found a new streaming platform, which I must say is not bad. And I think that sets us up nicely for some more action tomorrow. Let's see if we can get that, if we can make our way to the top of this. There we are. See, it's not I'm talking about. See, I told you I wasn't hallucinating. I keep forgetting about the teleport function. I keep running everywhere like a doofus. Ah, silly me. Ah, I remember that. Yeah, there's also an achievement associated with getting all the pages to the songbook. We'll go see if there's anything else to be had in that canyon. I know we probably passed by this canyon, maybe went in there once or twice, but you know what? It never hurts to make sure. Shit, I'm like that guy, you know, who makes it to the door, makes it to the office, and then has to go back to make sure you lock this car, making sure that the, set the park and brake and everything. I don't know, I just use that as an excuse to take a break. And just, shit post or something. Or grab something from Star... You know what? I know I forgot to do something today. Yes. I went and got that treasure chest yesterday. If there's Guga taunting us with its in all its liquidy glory. You know what? Like I said, that makes for a pretty good night for gaming. Tune in tomorrow as we probably make our way towards Chapter 5. Probably maybe get some quests done. On the hopes of moving one step closer to beating this game. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a good night and good luck. And don't let the bed bugs bite.